Alright, so here's the complete loop that I have as of now, and I don't really think pressure is going to be too much of a problem. However, I have no idea what I'm talking about, so please feel free to correct me. There's the T-line, and right now it's just completely full, and bubbles are forming here like they should, so they're starting to slowly but surely collect on the T-line, so that's good. Looking pretty clean on the outtake here. Very quiet pump, I really like it. The power seems pretty good, but it's a little too bright. But hopefully, there's the radiator, the radiator back there. And then there is how I mounted the rad on the front of the Antec 902. Pretty stereotyped case, but works pretty good for this, I guess. And then there's the pump that's all gutted with all electronics. There's nothing in there except for, well, water. And these lines have very little pressure, I feel. Well, they have pressure obviously, but I don't really feel water going through them, so I'm hoping that a lot of the flow isn't trapped in there. Alright, so it's December the 25th, meaning it's Christmas morning, and I was letting this thing run overnight, so it's been running for at least 12 hours or more, and there's thankfully no leaking. Looks like Santa gave me what I asked. And considering this is my first loop that I've built, I'm pretty lucky. And so last night I was I feel like I managed to get at least 90 to 95% of all the air out of the loop. There's still a good deal of there's like a pocket of air that I can't really get out, and it's somewhere in the radiator, but all's good so far. So I'll probably, maybe later on today, maybe the 26th, actually start plugging in stuff and testing temperatures and things to see if there's any change. Alright, so this is a continuation of the log. Computer's on. I don't have the 140mm plugged in, but doesn't really need to be plugged in right now. Fan controller is working. The bay there. So, right now running prime, and about 7 tests passed completely fine. Obviously I'm not overclocking right now. And then over here seems to be locked at about, I hope this video could show it, 25 to 26. Looks like it just bumped up to 26. But prime has a tendency to be a little overkill, so, and the water's getting warmed up now, but it's about 10 Celsius less than what I had before, so there's definitely a upgrade. That's good. And I think, because I didn't test much with not an overclock, but I'm feeling this thing has lots of water to heat up. But when it starts getting hot, it's having a hard time cooling it. But this wasn't really a pointing. The point of this whole project wasn't even really cooling. So I'm pretty happy with this. At least it wasn't downgraded, I hope, because I haven't, but I seem to remember around 30 to 36 or so on stock, so that's pretty good. And the fans aren't even really on very high. I'd say they're about doing 800 to 1000 RPM, which is very quiet. It's probably like 20 dB or so. So I'm really happy with that. And I mean, if I really wanted to cool off, I could just crank them up. But as you can hear there, it's definitely much noisier. But it's gonna start cooling off the water a lot better. Let's see. Okay, so I will be back. Alright, so this is what I figure is pretty much the end of this project. And I believe the ending result is that I didn't really gain or lose too much performance. I don't think I gained much when it comes to cooling, simply because I have too much tubing, and that really the radiator is only going to be doing as much as it can. I mean, the only way better would be probably less tubing, a reservoir, and a bigger radiator to, you know, release all that heat and stuff. So I think I finished pretty much filling up all the tubing. There's just a tiny bit of bubbles left. I mean, there's been absolutely no noise. I'm very happy with it. It's much quieter, much cooler. I mean, well, not cooler as a temperature, but just a lot awesomer, I guess you'd say. It was a fun project to put together, but you know, I wasn't really, you know, going out to actually improve performance in the long run. It was mainly just to get it working and not have to use a huge aftermarket cooler because of my special 5870 Thermalright Spitfire cooler. So yeah, I'll give some final camera angles here of things. There's the radiator back there, and the tubing going to there. And back here, just gonna make out, let's see if I can sneak it back here, that the H50 is plugged in, and, excuse me, H70 is working just fine. And then the tubing goes around and right into the pump and back after a loop. And the main reason why, once again, I decided to do such long tubing is because I didn't want to have to go buy another reservoir, because I was advised that having too short of tubing is going to blow the lines off the loop, because this pump would be too powerful for such small tubing and such a little amount of space to work with. But all in all, seems to be very little pressure in the pump. I mean, in the lines. Excuse me. Pump works great, and yeah, pretty happy with it. So, thus ends the project.